All right, Andy Hoare, welcome to Friday 15 with Master B2B. It is Friday, April 5th. I'm excited to be back with you today. Andy Hoare and I here, my partner in the Master B2B Thought Leadership Series. This is Friday 15. We've got a jam-packed and very, very interesting topic today, Andy, talking about AI and where it's going to be applied in B2B commerce. In this case, we're talking about customer service, right? So excited to get into our topic today. And, of course, as always, we start with some news. Yeah, I don't know if you saw this week, but Amazon doubled down on its investments in Anthropic, completing its planned $4 billion investment. This is huge. I mean, they're placing a huge bet here, competing with Google, with OpenAI, Microsoft. They're doubling down here. Andy, any thoughts?
Yeah, game's on now. I mean, first of all, it's a big sum of money. And the fact that they're, again, doubling down on it. And like you said, Microsoft, Google, Amazon. And by the way, Apple is rumored to be close to revealing some of their strategy around AI. So those are the big four. Of course, we're going to have Meta and others. Yep. It's going to be at least 4 or 5 companies that are going to be playing in this space, which makes for an interesting, question about what is AI going to become? Are we going to have versions of AI? Are we going to have, AI that works better for you versus for me? I mean, this is all to be determined.
What's fascinating to me, Andy, is that this is Amazon obviously is a commerce business, right? So I think we're going to see a lot of our applications emerging with AI for the commerce side of the things is with what Amazon's doing with Anthropic. We'll see. I think we're going to end up with a series of different options here that companies have, available to them in terms of taking advantage of AI. And we're going to be talking AI next week at our roundtable in Dallas. So I'm excited about what the industry has to say, continue the conversation there. But let's get into our topic today, which is, will AI-driven chatbots, such as something called Hume AI, which we'll show in a moment, replace first-level customer service reps in B2B commerce? And first level, Andy, I mean, these are questions, right? You think about, what does first level mean? It's the questions that people come in and they ask, and they're looking for a quick answer, or they're looking for, some level of service which may not be as advanced or complex as asking application or configuration questions. And it seems to me that we may be there already. And I know you looked at this Hume tool. Why don't you tell us first what this is? What is Hume?
Well, and chatbots are not new. They've been around for a while, and some have been good, some have been bad. I remember looking at one like 10 years ago that I thought was really impressive because I couldn't tell whether it was a human or software. And I thought, wow, that blew me away. Well, I've been blown away again. There's this product called Hume that is the first that I know of empathetic AI voice. And it's interesting because what it does, if you go to the next slide, it actually analyzes your voice as you're asking a question. You can't really see it very well. And for the people on the podcast, there's a box on the side that shows, a chart where it's taking your voice, breaking it down, and trying to determine whether you're angry or happy, what have you. And then it actually answers based on its analysis of your voice in real time.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And it's very conversational. And when we saw this, we thought, wait a minute, to your point about first level customer service, how often have you gotten on the phone or been in a chat or even tried to text somebody and been stuck? You're next in queue or you're 18th in queue, right? I'm waiting for software. With something like this, I don't think this is going to be a problem. This is infinitely scalable, at least in theory. So we wanted to show the audience how this works. So we did a little recording.
Well, you did it. I can't wait to hear it.
A little recording of interacting with Hume so you can get a sense for it. So,
hey there, glad to meet you. How's your day going so far?
Not so great.
Oh no, I am sorry to hear that. What's been on your mind?
Well, I made a purchase online of paint and the color's not right, so I don't quite know what to do.
Oh, I can imagine. That's a real bummer about the paint color not working out. How frustrating. I know, dealing with online purchases can be such a hassle when things don't match up. Have you tried reaching out to the company yet? Maybe they can help you sort it out or do an exchange.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's the right color or not.
I see. That's a tough spot to be in. Not knowing if the color is right makes it hard to decide what to do next. Have you thought about holding up some paint swatches or samples next to it to get a better sense of how it compares? That might help you feel more confident in your decision.
Notice how all I did was ask a question.
Yeah.
I tried to express frustration. It was analyzing my voice. It figured that out because it responded by saying, "Oh, that's a bummer," or "I'm sorry to hear that." And it gave very practical advice. Now, just imagine draw a straight line between this and the future. How long
Right.
before this is going to be first level, as you pointed out, customer service? You'll contact a company. It'll ask you, "Hey, what's going on? What's the challenge?" And be able to process what you're saying and read your voice and respond accordingly. Because if somebody's really upset, you don't say things like, "Hey, good to hear you today," And if somebody
Right.
is really excited, you don't go, "Ooh, that's a bummer. I'm sorry to hear about that." But it seems pretty good. It seems to have figured it out. Now, that was a practical use case, and for fun, I thought I would try something else. So if you want to see another
Oh, no.
quick
Okay,
video that I
great.
did here.
Hey there. Sounds like
Processing.
you're in a pretty good
Processing.
mood. I am always happy to chat and keep you company. What's on your mind?
Yeah, actually, I'm not in a very good mood because my friend Brian's team keeps losing.
That's a bummer about your friend Brian Steph. I know how it feels when your team just can't seem to pull it off. But hey, at least you get to commiserate with each other, right? There's nothing quite like bonding over a shared sports heartbreak. Maybe you could plan a fun outing to lift his spirits.
Well, my team keeps winning. It's just that Brian's team, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, keep losing.
I see. So it's not your team. That's the problem, is your friend Brian's team. That must be tough, seeing them struggle while your squad keeps on winning. I bet Brian's feeling pretty bummed about it. Sometimes it's hard being the friend with the winning team. Just try to be there for Brian, Offer to grab a beer or something, let him vent. A little moral support can go a long way when your team keeps coming up short.
There you go, Brian. So
my
I'm here. If you need to talk to me, I'm here to
Okay.
listen to you.
This reminds me of Blade Runner or Total Recall or one of those movies way back when, Andy, where it's more of like a buddy. Like you walk into your house and, "Hey, how you doing? How was your day, honey?" Like this is like empathetic voice. I mean, it's a little too Southern California, right? "Hey, dude."
Bummer, man.
But you know what? But all that aside, and obviously there's processing time delays there, right? So it's really trying to understand what the tone is. But I have to say that is incredible because if you just listen to how it responded, and as you changed the the approach or the clarified, the problem wasn't with my team, it's with my friend. Oh, I get it. Okay, right. So I mean, yeah, I can see where this can be really incredibly powerful and almost a little disturbing, right? If you think about the applications, 40 or 50 years from now, we're heading to dystopia. But anyway, that aside, let's get back to customer, can we use this for customer service and chatbots, right? They are, they've been used for a while, right? This is a huge market, Andy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think some of this research was done before the release of Hume and some of these AI enhanced bots. But, the predictions were that by this year, it was about a $7 billion market. And I think that's fairly accurate. I mean, any of us have used customer service on sites. There are robotic chatbots powering those things, but they're going to seem like child's play compared to an enhanced version of, say, Hume that is powered by and informed by all the knowledge they have. I mean, can just load in different combinations, questions, answers. I mean, there's some time associated with that, but imagine this for a moment. When you bring a person on board and you train them, it takes a period of time to train them, and the person can leave.
Yeah.
And they only work certain hours of the day, and it's difficult work. With Hume, for example, you can train it once, you can keep training it. It'll never forget what you trained it. It'll work 24/7, 365.
Right.
And it'll get better and better and better. And I think it's pretty good at this point. So even these predictions that by 2020 or 2029, it'll be a $20 billion business, I think those are low. I think these numbers we've hit an inflection point. I think if these chatbots can actually be as good as what we just heard, you're going to see these numbers go much higher than that.
Yeah, it's it's incredible, because I think this has implications for efficiency, for customer satisfaction, also just for jobs. I mean, think about it, right? You've got call centers full of people doing first level, but what's interesting here too is how do people use chatbots? And it's not the people that they're not afraid to use them. I mean, the data is clear here. 88% in 2022, 88% of users engaged in at least one conversation with a chatbot. Only 9% of consumers oppose companies using bots. Millennials use them all the time. 40% engage daily with digital assistants. This is becoming part of our behavior. We're not afraid to use them, right? But there's reasons for this, and it's really about convenience, right, Andy?
Yeah, it's all about convenience,
right?
Yeah, I mean, in some research that was done recently, it's a majority of customers would use an online chatbot instead of waiting for a customer service representative. And well, that's just a perennial problem. We're always waiting for customer service representatives, and then increasingly disappointed with what they tell us. 2/3 of people said, look, on the margin, I'll talk to a chatbot. So I think, though, the thing that's held the chatbots back is exactly what Hume seems to be addressing, which is when you talk to a chatbot, you're talking to a chatbot, and it's very kind of transactional and functional. And the answers are, just informational answers, which is why this last piece of research is particularly interesting. So they said, what would you personally use a chatbot for? And there's a series of maybe 8 or 10 answers here. And for the people on the podcast, the things like asking a question, making a complaint, making a purchase, things like that. And what you see is the only stuff that's above 50% is finding a human, which is ironic. Asking a question, That's what you're seeing here. Is it's good for asking a question of and really doing the very tip of the iceberg, but not going very far down. I think the reason why is because we don't really trust them. We don't think they understand us.
Right.
It's still too robotic. Whereas a human, we assume, understands our frustrations. Well, enter Hume.
Right.
If you have a technology like this, I think it could bridge that gap and bring some of these other ones like, making a complaint or making a purchase. These are things that can now go from being below 50% to much higher. And again, if it's theoretically infinitely scalable and it really does a good job of understanding and empathizing, this could be a real game changer for customer service, which is why it'll start with first level, but it's quickly going to go to even more complex customer service, to the point where, honestly, why would you talk to a human anymore? A human who's got, less information, maybe is having a bad day, him or herself. Why not talk to the robot? At least it's not going to get mad.
Well, I mean, the way that the robot, the AI interacted with you, Andy, if you take away the lag time, it actually would sound very much like a conversation. Now it's still clear if something's processing, right? You're waiting 2-3 seconds for it to answer you. But that's going to change. That'll speed up. And what's fascinating to me about the data we're looking at here, the number one, what did you use a chatbot for, was finding a human customer service agent. And I agree with you. At some point that these tools like Hume will reach a point where it's indistinguishable. You don't know you're not talking to a human. There'll probably be clues you'll suspect, but as the technology continues to get better, as long as the questions, then they'll just handle it like an escalation. Oh, you have an application question, sir? I'm sorry. Can you hold for a supervisor, please? Or our technical expert will help you. So it'll be a natural sort of progression through.
Do you think the chatbot escalation will have a different voice? Do you think if you talk to the first level, it'll be like a younger voice, and then let me refer this to my manager, and the manager will sound like an older person?
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
One thing we didn't talk about, which just occurred to me, is add another layer on top of this. Imagine when not only can it handle you in real time and understand but actually connect it with past interactions. What if it welcomes you back? Hey, Brian, good to hear your voice again. How did that thing work out for you? I know you bought this. Have you had fun with your jet ski or whatever? And it's like, what seems to be the problem? Yeah, well, it's broken. Oh, really?
Wow.
And that is, again, that is very easy for something like this to do. And just think how connecting those dots would take this to the next level.
Yep. We're all headed to the matrix, Andy. It's inevitable. So we asked our audience, will AI-driven chatbots such as Hume replace first-level customer service reps in B2B e-commerce? And oh, guess what? 80% said yes. First level goes to AI. And the question, the begs the question, Andy, if that's true, then when, right? When is it actually going to be ready for that? And how should companies be investing in it? There's opportunities for pure plays here like Hume and others, to come in, solution providers. There's opportunities for Amazon, like we talked about, and others to create solutions here. I'd imagine this is going to be, this is less than 5 years out. The way it seems, they can compress some of that time to, some of that response and processing time. It's almost ready. It feels like, don't you think?
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the time when we do our Friday 15 and we reveal at the end. By the way, this hasn't been Andy and Brian. This has been AI Andy and AI Brian. And thanks so much for joining.
I'm not sure I'm looking forward to that day of being completely replaced by AI, but anyway, it's going to be interesting to see where this all evolves. And we're at the cutting edge of it. This is a whole new generation, a whole new this is world changing, for the human race, honestly, all of this. So it's fascinating. And I'm so excited that we're in the middle of it, Andy. So folks, we have some great events coming up. We're at our Friday 15 here. We've got some roundtables coming up. We're in Dallas next week. We're going to be in Minneapolis on the 24th of April for our executive roundtables. We have a few spots left in Minneapolis. Actually, not many. I think we're actually started a waiting list, Andy. That one's pretty packed. Yep. We're going to be B2B online in May, for early May. We have some spots. We have some executive dinners there, folks. If you're a practitioner, a manufacturer, or a distributor, we'd love to have you join us. And of course, then our summit, which is coming up on June 4th. We are about 90% full at this point. With practitioners, we do have a few spots left. So if you would like to sign up for this, apply to attend, just go to our website, Master B2B, and type in, just look for the events tab, and you can find a registration form for the summit there. Excited about this one, Andy. It's gonna be a full day, one-on-one meetings, roundtables. It's gonna be fantastic all day long.
We're gonna do stuff here that we didn't do last year, and in my opinion, has never been done anywhere. So we keep iterating on this, and you and I have a lot of experience. I was involved with B2B Next for several years. You and I have attended thousands of these things. So we're kind of putting all that knowledge and wisdom into this. So this one's going to be even better than the one last year, which was pretty damn good in its own right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we'll be revealing our state of B2B e-commerce, amongst other things here. So it's going to be an exciting event. So looking forward to that one, Andy. And again, that's also on our website. Just go to events. And we have our forum. We've been seeing lots of great activity on our forum the last couple of weeks, Andy. Lots of questions and answers, people looking for solutions. The forum is free for practitioners. You can go online to our website, click on the forum tab, and you can apply for a membership there. There's no solution providers or vendors in there. It's only practitioners, and you can freely ask questions. We're up over 400 members. It just keeps on growing. It's great, and the interactions have been stellar. So encourage you to check that out. And of course, with all this, our podcast, this is available in podcast form, our Friday 15. So go to Spotify, Google Play, or Apple, and you can download our podcast. Just search for Master B2B, and all of our episodes are up there. So it's another exciting week, Andy, another exciting topic, and we're looking forward to next week. Any final words before we wrap for the day?
Yeah, just remember, I'm here if you want to talk about Rutgers.
Oh, killing me with that, man. Next year's our year. It's always next year. We got it. Scarlet Knights. Go Scarlet. See you guys. Talk to you next week.